It's gonna fail that one.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, you've incinerated this thing.
Ah, the fire rises.
Um,
Oh, I like that. Where did you get that? Like a new thing you're doing, or nice?
I picked it up from that book.
Did you?
shit.
Wow.
God damn it.
So that's
Um,
what an intelligence point looks like.
it's
A
something.
verbal intelligence point.
Yeah, so there's a smoldering hunk of person on the ground.
Neat. Let's
I,
pull that
I've seen
other
a lot of them
lever.
at this point. Yeah, we
Or
pull
should
the
we just
lever.
push the door first?
Oh, yeah, I guess we should check the door.
You push the door, it does not move at all.
I pull the door.
Can you imagine?
I check his spine.
His spine contains naught but a spine.
Hey, there's a spine in this spine.
Can't believe it's not spine.
Oh no.
All right, we pull the lever.
You pulled the one by the door?
Presumably the wrong lever.
Okay. Well, you as you pull the lever, Sir Moito begins laughing maniacally. And he says, finally, we get to meet the gods. And you feel kind of being pulled. Uh, I don't know really in which direction. Right. So you're both getting tugged on real hard right now.
Is it
Um,
nice?
it's not nice. It's a very
Oh,
unpleasant feeling. Uh, and after what seems like a few seconds of this, the golden door swings open, and you just see whiteness.
Okay.
how's Sir Mointo doing?
The
He
gods.
is a pile of dust.
He
Oh.
died?
Yeah,
Time caught up?
Oh.
and the anklet he was wearing is also turned to dust.
What was the anklet about? Should I
Uh,
have known that was a thing?
It was anchored to a clock that was outside the sphere of this building's influence.
Oh.
But yeah, doors open.
I guess we go inside.
Uh,
Outside?
yeah, you walk out. Um, there's nothing but utter whiteness.
Am I dust?
Are we the
No,
gods?
you're just standing there.
In a completely white room.
Yeah,
Does not seem like the place for us. Really not our color.
Would cast grease.
you cast it, uh, but it doesn't really do anything.
We were dead the whole time. It's purgatory.
Is there a secret word we were
It was a
supposed to
dream.
say?
So, you
Mitt.
guys, you guys, you guys are standing at infinity right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
Standing at infinity?
yeah.
What does that mean?
Uh, so you advance time to the time of the gods, which is infinity.
Oh, it's nice.
Uh,
We could use a little sprucing up, I think. Maybe, we could bring
Let's,
in that
let's,
weird furniture from that
yeah,
other
let's see what
room.
that weird gem guy has in.
Yeah.
and you look behind you, and the door is gone.
Oh,
Oh no, this is one of those things. Ah.
Yeah.
so we won.
Did we, I mean, we won, but we lost?
Well, you destroyed the universe.
We destroyed the universe.
Yeah, I mean, you advanced time to infinity, so yeah.
I didn't sign up for that.
I don't know why you pulled all the levers. That seems bad.
Were there other wind states?
What?
Were there other like it?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Cool.
So,
Can't wait to see where you go from here, but
well, yeah. So, put on bump. Congratulations.
Da, 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 da. Neat.
I
So,
kind of didn't expect you just to dive for both levers, honestly.
what do you mean?
Well, if you asked Sermoita about it, he would have told you what was going on, but
Oh, like
we forgot he was here.
these levers control time.
yeah, he would
The
have been
the
pretty
one
open
time
about
where
that.
Sermoito gives us a lucid response because
He's
every
been he's been faking it the whole time,
Oh,
more or
then
less.
wouldn't he have
He's
stopped
knew it.
us?
he mostly went mad,
Yeah.
but this was his goal.
If he knew that he was going to get turned to dust, if there's a lever and you know that it getting pulled means you get turned to dust, wouldn't you
Well,
be
he
like,
didn't
"Hey, don't"?
because he didn't realize that being bound to a clock that was outside the sphere that would get destroyed with infinity would kill him too.
Well, that's his own.
Mm,
That's his fault.
Well,
that'll get you. So I'm thinking like alternate timeline spin-offs. There's
I
gotta be
mean,
one. There's gotta be an alternate timeline where I didn't stuff. Did we
I
get
don't think there's a timeline where we ever do the correct thing. All the
Dude,
yeah,
timelines, all billion of the timelines, we fuck it up. We really just wang it.
yeah, you guys came in and killed all the guardians that were trying to prevent this from happening, and then you came down here and advanced time to infinity. So,
Well, maybe if they hadn't locked us in here to begin with.
what?
Maybe if they hadn't locked us in here to
I
begin
can't hear
with.
you for some reason.
Hello? Andrew,
Hello.
can you hear me?
I can't hear anybody. Hang on. Why can't I hear anybody? Hello?
Hey.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
Oh,
Hmm.
could you push the?
If all these dudes were guards trying to keep us from destroying the world, why did they lock us in here to begin with?
They didn't.
Seems like the worst thing they could
Who
have
locked us in? And don't you say you could have just left at any time because we couldn't.
No,
We
so
tried.
the clock itself, that's just how it works. It only opens at certain times, then it closes at certain times. That's a whole thing.
Who was the disembodied voice that chased us into it?
That was so part of so originally Sermonto was with these group of people who came in here to stop this.
To stop what?
So they're
exactly what we did.
these faceless things. They're a race called the Astralborn, and they basically maintain this god clock that kind of jumps around through time and space and just kind of exists. It has the power to do shit like this, which is not good. So it showed up in their time, and one of the Astralborn, who is this guy you just killed, kind of rebelled against these other people in the clock, because there are other Astralborn outside the clock as well, and they're aware of what they're doing. So they came in here to basically try to make it more difficult for other people to just show up in here and take control of it or use it for a terrible purpose. And so they basically modified all the rooms, because all the rooms originally were just mechanisms that weren't anything special. But they set up like traps and I guess puzzles to try and make it more difficult for someone just to walk in. And the idea was just to slow them down, and then they could go and kill anybody who tried to do it. But while that's going on, what they didn't realize is being detached from, because the god clock itself kind of fucks with time inside it. So the longer you're in here, the more bananas mad you become. And eventually Sermoito went nuts and kind of started betraying everyone. And he ended up with the goal of trying to actually advance time. And they ended up trying to uh, get rid of the madness through a bunch of different methods, but the one last thing they tried was to open a dimension door charged with the white sand to try and just get Sermointo out. But that doesn't really work inside this clock, so they actually just banish kind of the kind of malicious side of him to the outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's what was chasing us?
Mm-hmm.
Like an ethereal Sermointo?
Yeah.
Fuck, that sounds even worse than a normal Sermointo. I'm glad we ran.
Yeah.
And then these levers manipulate time itself?
The one on the right just kind of engages the entire clock. So the thing that destroyed the room was actually a gigantic pendulum behind you, which is the staircase you went down. It was actually a large pendulum.
oh,
The whole thing is really just a big grandfather clock.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, oh, actually, the one thing is gone, but yeah, like the entrance is just the top of a clock, and yeah, you were just in the top main part, and at the bottom, just in the,
so what if we pull the top lever before the right one?
nothing would have happened.
So what you're saying is, from the very beginning, we should have just cast Knock.
Probably. No, I don't think that actually would open anything. But pulling the right lever did open all of the doors, so you could have just left.
Ah,
But our stairway was destroyed.
No, it was just swinging back and forth. It took down the ceiling because it was just one big open thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I didn't have much for the rest of it. I got like 2 puzzles in, was like, this is way too complicated to actually think of. So most of it was on the fly.
oh.
So, yeah.
I kind of like that we just went to the end of the end of all
Just-
things.
So the idea of, it's like, if you guys really want me to keep going, we could have like a thing where like you travel to some other time or place or something and basically go from there. But I'm down to not keep going because this is hard.
Yeah, it's